What's up everybody out there? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Chillsis is here back at it again for you guys for a continuation of the how-to portion of the life-size Halo Master Chief figure. So a couple of things real quick. Thank you for checking out the video, and secondly, if you would, consider subscribing, guys. I'm trying to build up our gaming community, and I really hope and think that you'll find some enjoyment in my channel. So go ahead and do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, stick around for a while. I'd really appreciate it. And if you like the video, hit like as well. Without further ado, let's go ahead and continue on. And like I said, this can be the how-to portion of how I built this thing, the trials, the errors, and everything in between. And first off, so you don't need this specifically to build one, but for my particular build, this is how I did it. So I waited all year until Halloween was over to make sure that all of the costumes would be on clearance price. And the one that I chose to use to build my figure is this one here. It is an absolute beast. This is the Master Chief Prestige Adult Costume Deluxe edition, and this bad boy is, not gonna lie, they're pretty expensive, and that's why I waited all year to wait until after Halloween and got this at a discounted price from Amazon. One specific seller was selling one for one that I could actually sleep at night and get away with, and that was this one here. They go anywhere between $600 and over $1,000 in some sellers, but so happy to have this. And yes, I definitely tried this one on and struck a couple poses, and it is just absolutely gorgeously done and detailed, really detailed. Working LEDs, 32 pieces for one costume, guys. That is super high grade. But this bad boy was made back in 2019. I say back in, that was last year. And then it's made by a company called Disguise. But yeah, if you're wanting to build one exactly like my build, a replica of it, this is how I did it. And secondly, the rifle from the finished product is a Bunko Nerf style toy essentially. And if you want to know in detail how I made the rifle for this figure, then go ahead and check that video out. I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description below so you can check that out. And it has a whole other video on its own going over how I built the actual assault rifle for the figure. So that touches base on our gun, and that touches base on the external components of the figure, and the rest of it we're going to check out now. So let's check it out.
What are you doing?
Build me a Spartan.
This thing is cool. It's so giant. Wow. Crazy.
Alright, so these are the utensils and pieces that I have acquired for the display. I have 3 6-foot and 3 4-foot PVC, 1 1/4, and then some different variants of fittings that I plan to use to build a structure. And let's see what I can come up with. So I'm down to 3 6-foot panels, but I've used most of my fittings, but this is what I've come up with so far. In total it stands around 6'1", and it's got opposable joints. These will rotate. If I get a fixed portion, then I will use this and glue it and make it a more permanent situation. And then the legs here. But yeah, coming along nicely so far. And I'll see what I can do with the rest of it. Right, guys. So a little bit of progress. So here's the mannequin itself. I got the arms in the position that I think is going to work, where he'll be holding a rifle here. This will be obviously cut down to size, not quite sure what length I need it to be quite yet. And then of course this is just a rough draft, just racking my brain coming up with ideas. I'm doing all this on the fly. This is to fill his shoulder, to mimic actual size, and this is for the trapezius muscles that will hold some height up, giving it that sensation that it's real or it'll fit properly. And then moving on down, and then the width of the hips I measured out to be exactly with mine. And then coming on down to the base. The base, I used a T-bracket paired with stoppers on each end to secure it. It stands on its own and is super buoyant. It'll bounce back. It's really solidly built. And then to finish it off, I have some of this insulation foam that I got. All of this stuff at my local Home Depot, but this stuff is super affordable. This was like a 15-foot sheet that I had cut down to size into 4 squares, and I'm going to be building a base and painting it to go over the figure itself. So alright guys, that's where we're at right now, and I'll keep on fabricating and keep on building this thing until it all comes together. I'll catch you all in the next panel. That's a quick update. So we got our base constructed here. This is completely straight out of construction, off the fly. This is just my design that I have created out of my own creativity. Right here is a schematic of what exactly this is made of. This is actually foam that you can get at the local hardware store. About a 14-foot panel, and had it sliced into 2 4x2 squares, and then starting at the bottom, which is an unaltered piece, 1 level up from there, I cut out a square hole with the measurements, and then 1 step layer up we have another hole, and then the top layer there has the 2 protruding holes that come out the top here. So whenever the figure is going to be complete, then the shoes from our Master Chief will just show the shoes from there. And then of course this is just the constructed finished product. I still have tons of ideas and tons of stuff that I need to address to get everything else together. You know, what design am I going to go with? Am I just one idea? I'll go through a few ideas that I'm running through right now. Go to the local fabric store and pick up a particular design that looks to match a Halo Universe pattern, and use a spray adhesive and just make a clean slate, and put him up there with maybe some Halo branding. Second idea was do a destroyed landscape where I have a giant rock here and a bush built up on this side, and just make it look as realistic as possible. That one is going to be a lot more difficult and complicated and technical, but I think the finished product will actually turn out so good that it'll make it look more detailed. I don't want the base to outweigh the figure itself. So that's where we're at, guys, and I'll catch you all in the next update. Let's check it out. Alright, so this is our finished base, and what we have done here is we've used a wire brush just like this, about a couple extra, and etched in a brick pattern into the foam. And then it was originally pink, so we spray painted, and I did a little bit of a gunk wash, which you just black spray paint over it and go back behind it and quickly wash it over to give it that flat look. And yeah, that's where we're at right now. We're coming up on the completed piece here, which will be refilling all the padding around the mannequin and actually permanently securing that with PVC glue once I get into the pose that I want him to be in. The arms I'm going to leave articulate so that it will have some bend to it, etc., so I can move the arms around. But yeah, and we'll catch up with you in 1 sec. Quick update. Like I said before, I'm doing all this off the fly, just using my own ingenuity and creativity. And this is what I've thought of for making an articulate hand, so that it can hold things, it can rotate, it can be repositioned, and it'll hold a firm stance in whatever position I want it to stay in. So what I have come up with is I picked these up from my local Goodwill, got the entire alphabet for just $2. So that gave me a good material to craft with, although it does have obviously missing letters throughout, which kind of hinders it, but I think I'll make do. Beyond that, then, for the articulation, for it to hold its firmness, I thought of using clothing hangers to shape it, and then using this to fill it and hold its shape in the place of the mannequin. And got my assortment of different utensils that I might need, and then a marker to gauge the size. So let's go ahead and see what we can come up with this, and see if this is a totally waste of time, and go from there. Alright guys, so this is what we have come up with our fabrication. Essentially what this is alphabetical foam that I fabricated to fixate along the pipe to tighten up in there. This goes in and through, and then super glues to seal, where I had cut a slit and inserted it sideways and then down through here. But this gives us our articulation, where you can bend it and it'll stay in place. Additionally to that, it gives us our thickness, mimicking something that's gonna fill the glove. And it was a particular pain because this is not ideal as far as the material that I wanted to use, because you had to make multiple cuts, because this is alphabetical foam instead of one panel. Then I had to overcomplicate the situation and make multiple cuts to make this fit. As you can see, this is a J, and I believe this was like an M or an N, I can't remember, but this is I actually am quite pleased with the design, because like I said, you can bend it into shape, you can put it in whatever mold you want him to be in. It's articulate and it's sturdy. So the reason that there's two thumb on left hand side is because of the pose I'm gonna have him in. I need him to have one hand under with a metal frame under, and then the other one metal frame over, so that it'll be on the right side whenever it gets mounted to the figure, but it'll give me the support where I need it to be. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this put on there and go from there. Alright guys, that's our video for this evening. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in on our how-to portion of our Halo Master Chief life-size figure. And if you haven't watched it already, then I have a first video where I just revealed it, and that one touched base on my childhood, what particularly inspired me for this build, etc. So if you're interested in checking that out, hop on over and watch that video. I'd really appreciate it. Give me a like on there. But until next time guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.